Hello, calculator.
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 411. A lot to do today. Yes, unfortunately, there's no college stuff, but hey, NFL, that's still going on. And of course, we got to talk about World Cup with the quarterfinals heating up starting tomorrow. So yeah, plenty we can talk about. So that's what we're going to come and help people navigate through this weekend of sports that is upon us.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, there's nothing else to do, calculator, but to get into it. So
Yep.
let's hit crossing the lines.
Yes, like. Well,
All
I'm sorry.
right.
Subscribe, like, and notify. You got to notify because hey, if you miss out on the picks, the World Cup's early tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta get it in while you can. So yeah, unless you're notified of when we come on the air, we can't help you. So hey, and we tried to get out tonight because it's about to like again. I said earlier, it's going to be a busy weekend, so we try to get out the information while we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we there's a lot of things going on, and we're doing our best to splice in episodes when and where we can. And so right now, it is definitely important to hit that notification bell because we things happen. It happens in everybody's lives, and
Hmm.
truly understand that. And that's why we love to have the shows on YouTube where you can just go back and watch at your leisure.
Yep.
But as far as for us, calculator myself and all the 401 network members, we have to figure out at times to how to get things in, get it done whenever we can, and sometimes it's just right on the whim. So we're
Yep.
getting it in today, and before we do that, we're gonna take care of a little bit of business, and then we're gonna roll into the NFL as the calculator stated, also the World Cup. But yes, greetings, welcome to Crossing the Lines. All right, let's get it today and every day that we're on. We just can't forget our friends at Blackjack TV, the Jack. Check us out on the simulcast on blackjacktv.net. We definitely appreciate the Jack.
The Jack.
Awesome. Yes, that's right. Calculator, you said that perfect. Ash and Smoke Cigars, Lamont E. Thomas, Infused Cigars, gift sets, gift box purses. Calculator, you know what a gift box purse is?
I have no idea. I'm not a cigar connoisseur, unfortunately. I've had one cigar in my life when I was on
Yeah.
a cruise one time. But hey, when I had it, it was definitely an experience.
Yes, and all the people who have purchased Ash and Smoke cigars, they say that it's a great experience.
Hmm.
And Lamonte Thomas, he's going to join us. He joined us on the Sports Brothers, but he's also going to cut across the line sooner than later. And I can't wait for you to ask him what a cigar box purse is. But if anybody else wants to know what that is, check out his website. It's on the screen, ashandsmokecigars.com. You also can reach him at 518-61-CIGAR. That's 518-61-CIGAR. That's 518-61-CIGAR. Calculator, what is it? 518-61.
I think it's 51861 cigar.
Yes, there it is. All right, Lamont E. Thomas. We definitely appreciate his support of crossing the lines. And there's a great mug shot of E. Thomas right there.
That's a guy that knows his cigars, my
Wonderful.
friend.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I have some people in my circle that love cigars, so I'm thinking about utilizing taking advantage of it as a
Well,
gift as
Mr.
well.
For one, it is
Um,
Christmas time, so I'm sure the every cigar smoking person out there would love a cigar courtesy from Lamont Thomas's uh, collection.
exactly. And also with all the bowl games coming up, there's going to be teams celebrating smoking cigars, and in the NFL playoffs. And once we get to the Super Bowl, there's going to be teams smoking cigars. So
And we know
make sure you
some
have
people are going to
yours.
be smoking cigars after some of these World Cup games from the winners. We're
Oh
going to be
yeah, that. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And I can't wait for us to get to that calculator. But yeah, definitely. And something else that's smoking. Check out. the panty platter. I mean, smoking. All right.
Hey. Oh my is all I gotta say. But yes,
Yep.
Panty Platter
Yes.
Boutique.
Exactly. On Instagram at underscore panty platter. Also on the web, www.thepantyplatter.com. www.thepantyplatter.com. Check out the Panty Platter. We appreciate the support of the Panty Platter as well. And now, calculator, it is time. It is time. It's Thursday night. And guess what's going on,
Oh my
calculator?
gosh.
Guess who's still
Has the guy still not found it, Mr. 411? Goodness gracious.
out?
It's like
Look, one of these days.
one of these days. It's like, hey, hey, do you want your stuff? Do you want delivery of goods at an earlier time? Just do the you know Amazon Prime, So and now they're doing streaming services, but people get ready because that's not the first streaming services that's going to be coming down the pipe. Where it is, Apple's making a bid for the Sunday ticket. And believe it or not, Netflix is trying to get into the bid. So when you got multi-billion-dollar companies bidding for each other, well, it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. It depends on what streaming services you are currently subscribed to, if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I hope this gentleman has Netflix. I definitely hope that.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, I think we'll be able to help him by then. But
Yeah,
until then,
right.
I guess he's still looking.
He's still looking.
There's a battle tonight, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and jump into the NFL, and then we'll follow that up with the World Cup.
Absolutely, and the again, we're going to first go through it's a pool I get in every year. So I like to do my picks online to tell people the reason why I pick, because people are in a lot of the most common NFL pool out there is just no lines. It's straight pick'ems. So that's why I'd like to concentrate on just straight up lines. And now that the college, I am going to come up and give a couple of point spread picks for the friendly wager of people that do like to do that on the side. But again, we'll get after that after we do these picks. All right, Las Vegas Rams beat up. Word on the street is Baker Mayfield was active today. I don't care. You could put a healthy Baker Mayfield. They don't have Allen Robinson. They don't have Cooper Kupp. Even Aaron Donald's a little nicked up. And guess what? Ramsey is definitely not the Ramsey he was 3 years ago. Davante Adams, they did a little thing. And unfortunately, I'm playing against Davante Adams in some fantasy football leagues tonight. So I hated to see this number, but he is what they call a zone busting receiver. They complete over 80% of passes to Davante Adams in the zone, because the thing is, so what are you not going to do? You're going to try and cover him one-on-one with Ramsey? I'm sorry, Ramsey's not going to be able to keep up with a healthy spring. Hot. He's hot right now, Davante Adams. Davante Adams is going to kill the Rams by himself tonight. So not much or more analysis. Vegas is the hot team. Rams are looking for and I would say they're looking for a top 10 pick, but for those people that know, the Rams basically mortgaged their future to win that Super Bowl last year. The Lions have the Rams first round pick. When the Rams made that deal with the Lions at that time, they made it thinking they were going to have like in the 20s or 30s. The Lions could never have dreamed that they'd get a top 10 pick when they made that trade 2 years ago. But anyways, Vegas rolls tonight. Don't need more analysis than that. Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is actually favored in this game. And I know the reason is it's the backup quarterback for Baltimore. But folks, I'm telling you, the backup for Baltimore, there's really not a big drop off with him in the way they run their offense. And matter of fact, I think it depends. They can depend more on the running game because they won't have to ask them to, they trim down the playbook and it's effective. What's going to win this game, in my opinion, is Pittsburgh's lack of defense or lack of offense against pressure defenses. Baltimore is going to pressure that young quarterback. And ever since Roquan Smith came to Baltimore, they've been a pressure shutdown defense. It'll be a defensive battle because Pittsburgh is actually getting better while they're healthy, but they're still not on the level of Baltimore, even with a backup quarterback, because Andrews is now healthy. Demarcus Robinson, they still got Duvernay. So they still have weapons, and I think it'll be a close game. But hey, since this is pretty much an even game, I'm going to go with the team that's going to win. And think about it. I'm still fading the public a little bit. 56% of the public is going Pittsburgh. So I'm going to fade Pittsburgh a little bit, and because I think Baltimore is the better team. Now, this is an interesting game. Cincinnati has not beaten Cleveland since Joe Burrow has been quarterback at Cincinnati. And that also coincides with Kevin Stefanski, the coach of Cleveland, has never lost to Cincinnati. So there's a lot of things. So it's like, calculate. They've never been Cincinnati. Hey, did you see Deshaun Watson last week? I'm sorry. That didn't fill me with a lot of hope. And Cincinnati is one of the top 5 teams powered. Heck, we came on this show last week and said Cincinnati's getting healthy at the right time. On this show, we peaked Cincinnati to upset Kansas City, which they did. Listen, I do think it'll be a close game because of its history, but I think Joe Burrow will have enough. I think, they'll probably win with that late field goal. So, like, if point spread's involved, I would take, Cleveland in 5.5, 6 points. But on this, a straight-up pick, I still think Cincinnati's just the far better team. Not far better, but better in this matchup. And at home, I think they get the monkey off their back and beat Cleveland for the first time in Joe Burrow's career. Now, this game, guys, 17.5 points. That looked like a college spread when it come out. Dallas is favored by 17.5 against Houston. You know what, Mr. 4-1? They're going to beat them by 3 touchdowns. I don't think 17.5 is going to be enough. We got one of the top rushing duos, Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott. We have the worst 32nd ranked rush defense in Houston. I'm sorry, Dak Prescott owners in fantasy. Dak Prescott might get 1 touchdown, and it's going to have to be early on because I think the defense is going to be outscore Houston by itself. Dallas could get another defensive touchdown or maybe 2 against Houston. I do hear David Mills is back. It's not going to be enough. Dallas at home, running hot. Dallas obliterates Houston. And I see 1% of people pick Houston. Those must be those Texans fans that are already out of their pool because they are out of their mind. There is no way Houston can compete with Dallas. Tennessee, Jacksonville. I know 95% of Tennessee is here, but this was kind of surprising. I think a lot of the word is Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. we call them on the show, Steffi Graf, has come in a little nicked up on the ankle. And it's like, he might go, might not go. That's going to be good for that's going to be good for Tennessee because the weakness of the Tennessee is their pass defense. And if Steffi Graf can't play, they're not going to be able to pass down the road. So I think Tennessee's defense will be enough to win the game. Yes, Tannehill's still a little nicked up, but hey, we all know even if they get Malik Jackson in there, they can still have Derrick. Yeah, you can say Derrick Henry's not himself. Derrick Henry will be fine when they need him. So Tennessee wins. I do think it's going to be a close one, but I think Tennessee has enough to win on this one.
And calculator, do you think Tennessee's going to win 40 love?
No, I do not. Maybe 40-15 or 40-30, but definitely not 40. I don't think Tennessee's going to put up 40 at all. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it'll be closer than that. But good call, Mr. 411. Hey, another one. I'm going against the public because this is going to be a little foreshadowing on a future a little bit later on. Detroit, Minnesota. Get this. Minnesota is favored by 68%. And you can say, man, I thought it had been higher. But when I started doing analysis, I mean, Minnesota, 10-2, 11-2, something like that. I mean, they got the best record in behind Philadelphia, the second best. So you would think Minnesota automatically beat Detroit. Folks, Detroit is actually favored in this game now. Yes. And if I get a team that's favored, I always said, if I can get a team that's favored in Vegas and I'm fading the public, I'm going to take the red hot Detroit Lions. And again, a little foreshadowing, I will give a little bit more analysis on that. Buffalo, New York Jets. Hey, I'm not defending the public on this. Yes, the Jets beat Buffalo not a few weeks ago, but I think I think the Jets were. Hey, we got a new quarterback, Mike White. Yes, he was the toast of the town when they whooped up on Chicago. He came back to earth when they lost to Minnesota. He's going to come even further back to earth when he faces that defensive front of the Buffalo Bills. Bills rolling this one. Oh, Mr. 411, do you have your dad in the college? There we go, Mr. Jones. I love it. Philadelphia rolls against the Giants. I ain't fading the public in this one. I love the Eagles to keep up their side, and Mr. Jones agrees with me, it looks like. All right, hey, I'm going to hop back on Kansas City, and I'm going to say it now. I looked at the future of Kansas City, and I had to have Kansas City to lose last week because they're not going to lose the rest of this year. They got Denver, they got Houston on the schedule coming up. I think they got Denver twice. So yeah, again, Mahomes can outscore Russell Wilson. Okay. Mr. Jones, I like your Seahawks. I like the way they're playing. Although they kind of looked a little off against the Rams there, didn't they? I mean, but I think the Kenneth Walker injury kind of surprised them. But hey, even a well-rested Panthers is not going to be able to compete with Seattle at home. Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
We talked it on the fantasy show. That trifecta is going to be too much for Carolina to handle. And look, yeah. They might not have Kent Walker third, but I heard word on the street, Travis Homer is healthy, practicing. He's familiar with the defense. They called up Wayne Gallman. Everybody knows the old Wayne Gallman.
Oh, my goodness. Wayne Gallman sighting.
He's good for 5 to 7 carries, ain't he, Mr. 411? Just as the Giants leaned on him for a while. So, yeah, Seattle, they're not going to need the running game on this one. Geno will take care of business at home against Carolina. Yeah. Purdy, I am picking the last pick in the draft, a quarterback against Tom Brady. Oh yeah, when's the last time Tom Brady lost to a guy that was drafted last pick in the draft? It's never happened. Well, it's going to happen this week. And yeah, it's not going to be Purdy that wins this game. It's going to be the defense. The defense for San Francisco. We saw Tom Brady struggling against a Saints defense that had 2 practice squad cornerbacks covering in the secondary. San Francisco's healthy. They're going to be rushing Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not going to have it, and they're going to be so far behind, they're not going to have enough to get back in the fourth quarter. And even if they did, San Francisco's defense ain't going to let it happen. San Francisco, not only do they win this one easily, double digits. Calculators calling it on there.
What calculator? So you saying that's going to be a pretty ugly matchup there
for the Buccaneers? That's right. Pretty ugly for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Yeah, this won't be. I'll be surprised. In San Francisco, I mean, their defense is just suffocating. It's kind of like a boa constrictor. As the game goes along, they get better and better. Just ask Tua how good that defense was. And then they're going from Tua and Tyreek Hill and Waddle to Tom Brady and Godwin and Julio Jones. Yes, these are oldies, but not goodies. All right. So San Francisco and Purdy does it done. And Miami, I think they roll on the Chargers. This is a simple fact that this is just going to be a mismatch in philosophies. The one weakness of the Chargers is pressure on the quarterback. Well, one thing that Tua does well is when he's not pressured, is to find those Waddles, finds the Hills, the Gesicki's. If Tua has time, he shows he's going to pass. So I don't think the Chargers are going to get enough pressure. And I think Tua, yes, he's questionable, but he'll play and he'll carve up that Chargers defense and win rather easily. This is another play where I like to go against the public because New England is favored by 1.5. And when I get a spread that close, and I say, well, can I fade the public enough to where it benefits me? And I think this is the case. What is the one thing that everybody talks about Bill Belichick shutting down the main weapon and stuff like that? Well, you know what the thing is what New England doesn't do, even if it's the main one, Bill Belichick has trouble with rushing quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, very successful against Bill Belichick's defense. Justin Fields beat Bill Belichick defense this year. And I'm telling you, Arizona's Kyler Murray will run and give that New England defense enough trouble to where if I can get them at 32% against the public, this is a play where I'm going to take Kyler Murray to befuddle the New England defense to the point where Arizona wins straight up. Yes, New England's coming off of a mini bye. Well, guess what? Arizona's coming off of a full bye week. So yeah, they'll be rested. Kyler Murray will be healthy. Hopkins will be healthy. Arizona's defense is still legit. Yes, they might not have nothing to play for, but they're playing for pride, and I think they have enough weapons to keep New England off the field enough to where they should win the game. And again, I'm only using 32% against. So, okay, we'll recap. Take all your favorites, but take Arizona at 30. You're fading the public on Arizona. We're fading the public with Detroit, and we're going to do a slight fade on Baltimore. But I just think they're a better team. So even though they're not favored, it's close enough in the spread that I feel comfortable taking Baltimore. So if you take those games, I think you'll be good on the weekly spreads, Mr. Jones.
All right. Very good, calculator.
And I did that little foreshadowing, but do you want to say something, Mr. 411?
Well, I was going to say something. Was do we have anything doing with a primetime parlay?
Yes, that's what I don't want to keep people. And you took the words right out of my primetime parlay. What that is, it's a new segment we're doing on here. I'm going to pick 2 games for people against the spread. NFL, even though the NFL's hard, I think I can pick 2 games to help people do. And what a parlay is, just let people know, it's where you bet 2 teams to cover and you get extra money. You get 3 to 1 on your money. You bet $10, you win $30. You bet $100, you win $300. So, but I'm going to give you a choice. You can do the 3 to 1 bet both of them, or you can split them up and just, if you split, you basically play the VIG and move on. But yes, I'm going to give the primetime parlay. And that first pick is the one I want to go a little bit. The Detroit, Minnesota. That kind of line reminded me something back in my college preview. If Mr. Producers can find that for me.
In the college preview.
Yeah. With the way, I think it involved The Rock or something.
We're just waiting on the producers to see what they can find, calculator.
There it is. I was waiting for The Rock. That's right, folks. This is Smelly Line of the Week. Even the NFL has smelly lines. And let me tell you what a smelly line is. We've always said a smelly line is if you look smelly, you go with Vegas. Well, it wasn't smelly to begin with. Minnesota actually opened up as a 2-point favor against Detroit. And I'm talking about the wise guys' wives, the wise guys' cousins, every wise guy and his relatives were betting Detroit. Bet it so much. This line has moved. Now Detroit is actually favored by 2. A 4-point NFL swing with no injuries attached is unheard of. And you know what? I'm still not scared, Mr. 411. We talked about magic numbers. That magic number is 3 here. All right. Detroit's going to win this game. And I'm going to tell you why. Minnesota has, when you look at underlying statistics, they should be a 500 team. They have literally 5 of 5 games where they were outperformed under every metric. They wound up winning the game. The laws of averages actually have to catch up. And if people remember, these teams met before. Detroit was dominating Minnesota earlier in the year. And what happened? Amon St. Brown got hurt. Jared Goff couldn't make the adjustments, and Minnesota come back to win. I'm telling you, but it was at Minnesota, so I give them a little credit. Hey, they hung in there. Minnesota, that's what they do. If any of those people that watch Rounders, they say, hey, hanging around, like in a hand-up poker, you're just hanging around trying to draw that inside straight. Well, they've been drawing the inside straight, and it's not going to happen. They're going to bust on the river on this one. Detroit wins, and even if it's a field goal, you win because the points to Detroit wins this matchup. And like I said, it's a smelly line because you look at Detroit, you look at Minnesota's record, you look at Detroit weather, and it's like, how in the world is Detroit favorite? Half the public's still going to go with Minnesota. Don't fall for it, folks. Your first bet, you need to take Detroit. You could give up the 2 points because they're going to win by a field goal or more. The laws of averages has to catch up sometimes. So I'm going with the underlying metrics. I'm going with the laws averages, and I'm going to take Detroit plus the points. The next one, the other one you can do it, similar long. We got a small line, and we just want to pick the team that I think is better. And I'm going to Baltimore. Baltimore with Lamar Jackson against Pittsburgh would have been about a 2-point favorite. So they're building in a 4-point spread on Lamar Jackson. And I think with the way Lamar Jackson's been playing this week, I think that's a little too much because I'm telling you what's going to win this game is going to come down to defense. Baltimore's defense, and they're pretty much healthy, is better than Pittsburgh's defense. Baltimore, yes, they have a young quarterback. Well, he has more NFL starts because of all the starts he did last year than Pickett. So even though Pittsburgh's at home and even though they've been somehow, guys, beating Atlanta Falcons does not make you a team that's on a hot streak, right? Baltimore still won their game against Denver. Hey, they were fighting through the muck. They knew that Denver couldn't score. They kept them at 3 field goals and they scored that late touchdown to win. Now, and this one, we're getting points in this one. So, hey, even if this is one of those ties and Justin Tucker comes out to kick a field goal, you win by 1, you win the game. The only way we're going to lose this game is if Pittsburgh can score touchdowns. Because, again, we saw when Baltimore gave up those field goals against Denver, they came back to win. This is kind of the same thing. Pittsburgh's going to, I think they'll be able to do a bend, don't break. They'll be able to get, they might be able to get a touchdown, but it's going to be 10 points. But I can see Baltimore winning this one 13-10, 17-10. muck it up a little bit. So I like the better defense. I like a young quarterback that, again, don't have to change much. He's almost like a younger yet slower version of Lamar Jackson, but the guy can run the ball. But you know what? He has a healthy Demarcus Robinson. He has a healthy Mark Andrews. For once this year, finally he's gotten over his injury, and Devin Duvernay's still there. So they also have and I think they got the better field goal kicker because Boswell's still a little nicked up on the Pittsburgh side. So yes, I like Baltimore in this one. So primetime parlay, take Baltimore in the points and take Detroit in the points, and that'll pay you off big time in your primetime parlay.
I love that calculator. I love that segment. That was well written and put together. Definitely enjoyed that calculator. I hope everyone else did as well, because it's extremely valuable information that you can really take advantage. Thank you, calculator, for that.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna come back on the other side, calculator, and we get back from the commercial break, and we're gonna talk about Bo in the World Cup.
That's right.
Can't wait. All right, we'll be right back. Absolutely. Please support GG Events NYC. Book your event with GG Events NYC. All right, calculator, we are back, and it's time for the World Cup.
Yes, sir. We know Bo's going to be out on the patio, grilling up some bacon wrapped shrimp, one of his favorite meals for the World Cup, and he's going to be him and his buddies at the Kohl's Warehouse Distribution. Love talking World Cup, and that's one of the reasons they like to tune in the CTL to see, hey, what does CTL in the calculator thinks about the World Cup? Well, I think it's been a you could say a surprising, not surprising World Cup. In that the big guns are still pretty much in there. The one big upset in the round was Morocco over Spain, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I got to talk about the match I really want to watch: England and France. This is the winner. Yes. Well, hey, another big thing. And we'll talk about that, Portugal with Ronaldo. But hey, the big boys still in it. Ronaldo's still in it. Messi's still in it. But the matchup I'm going to currently talk about right now is England and France. One of the heavy baits, the two bigger European clubs, both teams in the top 5. That's my team. I am picking, yes, the England to beat the red hot French team. Yes, they got Mbappe. French got Mbappe. The French got Griezmann. The French got, that's about it, folks. That's right. I stopped right there for a reason. They got 2 players because Pogba's out and Benzema's out. There's reason that if you got 2 of the top 6 players in the world that aren't on your team, that's going to hurt your team when you play the better clubs. And I think that's how England's going to think. And when I watched the Euro Cup, what hurt France was their back line. Their back line is not going to be able to keep up with Sterling and Kane, in my opinion. I think the midfield of England is going to control the midfield of France, going to keep it out of Mbappe's going to keep it away from his side, going to try and keep Griezmann out from his side, and they're going to move the ball to where they can be more attacking because we know England they have 2 great center backs, but the one thing they don't have in the center backs is speed. And Mbappe, what does he have? Speed. So what they're going to do? They're going to tactically keep the ball away so that Mbappe now. French is still going to try and get their long balls and stuff so that Mbappe can create one-on-ones, but it's going to be to a point by the time Mbappe gets it, the English are going to have the defenders behind the ball so that Mbappe can't hurt them one-on-one or crossing the ball. So I think New England tactically is going to be able to defeat France, and France has not played any real solid teams with good midfields yet. This is going to be the first good team that had good midfield play that can hurt them. They had an easy group, and then they had an easy first-time match with in the first round. So it's like in the knockout round. So I think, yeah, I'm going with England over France. I believe France is actually favored by a half a goal. That's how bookmakers club it. So if you can get it even goals and get England at plus 120, in other words, you bet 100, win 120, you get a little thing because they again, France is favored, but England has the tools, Kane and Sterling, to beat this French side. So yeah, I like England. England. That on the other side, Argentina, they're playing great ball. I mean, you showed a picture of Messi right now. And I'm telling you, you take away that Saudi game, they have dominated pretty much, and even in the Saudi game, they dominated possession, dominated corners, dominated shots on goal, but they still lost to Saudi. That can't happen every week. So I really like Messi to work his magic. Alvarez, ever since he's been in the starting lineup, he's providing an offensive kind of jolt to the team, and I think that's going to continue. Solid goalkeeping, solid back line. This is one of the best teams Messi has ever had with him to complement him in Argentina. So that's why I think Argentina beats whoever they're playing. I lost train of thought there. Oh, Netherlands. They beat the Netherlands. Yeah. Netherlands, solid European team. But again, heck, I still thought that the U.S., you take 3 defensive possessions off, which the USA did, and that allowed all 3 goals for the Netherlands. The back line and the midfield play for Argentina is too good. That Netherlands aren't going to get those counterattacks to be able to and be able to cash on those counterattacks against Argentina. And I think Argentina has enough on offense to get. So yeah, I like Argentina to beat the Netherlands, and that's going to set up on the other side of the bracket. You got Brazil. When you have what Brazil's been doing, they've been doing a lot of things without Neymar, but I really like how they're learning to play without Neymar. When Neymar was injured, they've dominated pretty much every game they played, even the ones without Neymar. So Brazil's going to win an easy game on their side, and I want to concentrate on Argentina, Brazil. I think when they play each other, it's going to be an exact replica of what happened in the Copa America. I think Di Maria for Argentina, he did a little run out thing, got a little bounce. Somebody served him a ball, he bounced in the air, ran past the defense, scored, and then they held on to break Brazil in the Copa America. It's going to be the same thing. So I really like Brazil. It was one of those things where, I love how Japan played against Croatia, but Modric is not going to be able to. Modric can't cover. I mean, Modric can serve to his guys, but they were actually outplayed by Japan, right? But Modric, again, Modric can't compete with Neymar and just all the pressure that Brazil is going to be do moving forward. He can only do what he can do. Now, if this was Croatia of the last World Cup, where they had Radrić that could help Modric, another great midfielder, that I think they'd be able to compete. But Modric can't do it by himself, so that's why I think Brazil handles Croatia rather easily. And then we already talked about England and France. So the other side, the darlings of the story, Morocco, a shootout win against Spain. But folks, the other side of the story was just as much as that Portugal benched one of their all-time greats of Portugal, and Ronaldo benched him because they didn't like how he handled being taken out after that last group stage thing. So they benched him to send a message. I think one thing the coach did is he benched Ronaldo because he knew he had other players. And Portugal, the guy they put in for Ronaldo, scored 3 goals. So, it's not like they really lost anything. And people want to talk about, it was Switzerland. Switzerland's a good team. The Switzerland, believe it or not, the books actually had this at a half a goal Portugal favored. So they were thinking it was going to be a close game, and this game was over within the first 10 minutes of the game, because what Switzerland's known for is for packing a defense, and they have one offensive player, and then what happened, and this is what I think, if Switzerland could have played their game, I think it could have been closer than what it ultimately been. When they were down 2 goals, then they started sending pressure forward. Well, what that does is that takes them out of what they like to be in, which is a compact defense and, run the clock out and like they did in the Euros. But, Portugal scored those 2 goals, got Switzerland out of their things, and then they put in more goals. So yeah, I think the score is a little deceiving. Switzerland's a good team, but Portugal showed that they have good people. They're not relying on Ronaldo. They played a lot, almost like free, like they didn't have to make that pass for Ronaldo to finish. And then but again, Ronaldo's still an all-time great. So I think he kind of, and one thing you gotta like for Ronaldo, and I'll give him this. He wasn't sulking on the sideline. Every time they scored, he was cheering as if as if he was in the field. So I'll give him that. I think he learned his lesson. He said, "Hey, I'm not the center of the universe here," and I think he'll be inserted back into the lineup. And I think that him being benched and them doing that well actually helped Portugal. Listen, Morocco's a great story, but kind of like when you get those Cinderella stories in the NCAA March Madness, when they start getting to the big boys time after time again, right, the cream actually rises to the top. So Portugal loses. I mean, Portugal beats Morocco. I'll give Morocco credit. I didn't think they beat Spain, but one thing Portugal does that Spain doesn't, Portugal's not going to do the 1,000 passes and then not shoot. They're going to do 100 passes maybe and then shoot. They're going to shoot, and they're going to put pressure on that goalkeeper. They're not going to wait and take this to penalty kicks like Spain for some reason. And I'm very upset about Spain because I thought they learned a lesson from Russia. And I've said it on Crossing Lines. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Spain, you did the same thing you did in Russia, and you lost in shootouts against a team that you should have beat. It's embarrassing. And I don't care if that guy is the coach of Real Madrid. He does not know how to coach World Cup, apparently, because he had the far superior team and he blew it again. So Spain, get your act together. Hey, I love the way they play the game. I love 1,000 passes, right? But I also like 1,000 passes then top to shoot, because you know what Spain could do? They could have shot the ball, and then if they lost the ball, they'd have got it right back, and you shoot it again. That's what they did against Costa Rica. And guys, it's the same concept. You got passing is all fine and dandy, but if you don't create offensive opportunities, it does you no good. So very disappointed in Spain, and because they had a very winnable game, and because I think if they would have done like they did against Costa Rica and play with abandon, played loose, I think they could have beat. I had Spain going to the finals and losing to Argentina in the finals because I thought they had the best 3 from left to right midfield in the stages. So, but very disappointed. But hey, Portugal beats their opponent, and then that sets up Portugal and England. Again, England wins that bracket easy. England's toughest match is going to be France, and I think they'll take care of Portugal because they just have from 1 to 9 on the field. They're better. The 2 through 10 is then Portugal, and then they fill it out with the 11th person. But yeah, England beats Portugal in that semifinal, which sets up England versus Messi. And I really think, again, Messi will, his team, Alvarez, be raising their hands up. It's almost like a passing of the torch from one of the greats to one of the younger guys. That's going to be helping them as they go forward. And I think they'll send Messi off in fashion. And but I'm telling you, England's not going to make it easy on them. But the one thing that Argentina has is they have a guy that can beat a midfield or a back line by himself. He's done it before, and I think he can do it again. And that's why I think it'll be Argentina, England, and Argentina raising the championship as the winner of the World Cup.
All right. And before we close out for the day calculator, there is a question that was sent to me, and I'd like for you to expound on it, please. Okay. It's dealing with the World Cup. What would be the best, let's just say, best value play if you had to pick one of the remaining teams? What would be a good value play as far as picking a team?
Well, see, and the best value play, it wouldn't be Argentina because they're still relatively highly favored. Your best value is going to be England. And the reason I say that is because they have, from top to bottom, a team that can win, but they have such a tough match against France. That's where you get the good value. So, hey, they definitely could beat Morocco, and they definitely can beat, Portugal, in my opinion. They're just better than both those teams. So as long as they get past France, and again, they match up better against France, which I picked them to beat France. And heck, they can beat Argentina. Again, even though I think Argentina is going to win, you're not going to get value on Argentina that you're going to get on England. England has the easier side to get to the finals, with the exception of France. But again, the matchup is in England's favor. So that's why, like, as far as value, I'm taking England to win it all, because I just don't think you can get the value that Argentina, because a lot of people, even the bookmakers, think Argentina can win. And that's why the calculator thing, I think they're a great team. But if I'm trying to extract value, I'm thinking England is the best to do it. So yes, that's why I think the best value in World Cup would be to take England to win it all.
All right. Great information. Man, you got me fired up to watch some more World Cup action.
The games are going to be, yeah. Those two games, Argentina, tomorrow, along with France and England. I mean, those games right there, the Netherlands and Argentina. Those are going to be some high. I mean, these are top 5 clubs duking it out.
Right. It's going to be some high level soccer going on.
Absolutely.
Or high level football, if you will, too.
The football.
Yes.
Football.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right. Man, great show, great information, Calculator. Appreciate you being on. Everyone, we thank everybody for tuning in and hitting that like, the subscribe, and hitting that notification bell.
Notify.
Got to do it, because you never know when we're going to show up. But we definitely going to show up and show out for you when we do.
Yep.
And always for CTL. All right. So we definitely thank you all. And for the Calculator, I am Mr. 411. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Catch us on all the replays on the YouTube channel. That's 411 Sports World. You can just type in 411 Sports World and on YouTube, and you'll be able to hit that subscribe button and keep up with everything that's going on out there in the sports world, because that's what we do for you. Oh, and before we leave, Calculator, Miss Beulah Dukes, we thank you for tuning in.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Beulah. And send us a comment. We always appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely do. All comments, likes, we take them all. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you for watching, tuning in. Make sure you tell all your family and friends that you was on here today with us.
That's right.
You. Oh, and guess what, Calculator?
What's that?
They know something about me.
Oh,
they give me a birthday shout out.
I hear you. Well, happy birthday, Mr. 411. Man, Mr. 411 working on his birthday, but you know what they say? They say this is like a love and passion for you, so it's not like really working for you. You just.
So, all right, I will leave it at that. But yes, thank you for the birthday wishes, and we'll leave it at that. But yes, thank you for the wishes, and man, it's great to see another year go by. You know what I mean? So. Every time you can see another one, that's great.
Mr. 411, you're looking younger and younger in every podcast or something. You're doing something right.
Well, I guess podcasting will do this for you, Calculator.
Yeah. Well, podcasting, I'm sure, and running up and down the courts refereeing kind of keeps you in good shape, right?
It definitely helps. Helps. But I pay for it after the game, though, Calculator. Sure. I really do.
I got you.
All right. Well, we thank everybody. And Calculator, again, I'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
Everyone tune in on Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. for Triple Option, our college football show. There's going to be some nice debates there, nice discussions about the college football playoffs. And so if you can tie all this stuff together, we're crossing the lines. Triple Option, Sports Brothers, After the Game, 411 Sports World Fantasy Football Show. It all ties together, fam.
That's right. So the more info, you are never worse off with more information. Just put it that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Calculator and I are out.
Yep.
We wish everybody a good night, and we'll see you down the road.
Good night, folks.